3, 2, 1.
It's been a while, hasn't it? Did you miss me? Well, you're not gonna miss me anymore because the prodigal son has returned. Welcome to a very special episode of the Allie-RX show, starring yours truly. And why is this special, you ask? Well, today's episode is not only a holiday episode, but this is the first episode that's not a normal review of a single game. Instead, this is the first in what I like to call a versus episode. And in this one, I compare and contrast two games in a specific franchise and decide which one is superior. And what better way to do this than to do it with the two of the best Mario games of all time. Super Mario Bros. 3 for the Nintendo Entertainment System and Super Mario World for the Super Nintendo. For years, there have been so many heated debates on which of these two is the superior game. And with the Allie-RX show, it's time to decide once and for all which one is superior. So without further ado, here is Super Mario Bros. 3 versus Super Mario World. To kick things off, let's take a look at some background information on both games. Super Mario Bros. 3 was the third installment in the franchise and the final main Mario game on the NES. It was released in 1988 in Japan, 1990 in the US, and 1991 in Europe. This introduced the Koopalings, who were the children of Bowser, tons of new enemies, new worlds, and a wide variety of power-ups. Super Mario World was the fourth installment in the franchise and the very first Mario game to jump to 16-bit. It was released in 1990 in Japan, 1991 in the US, and 1992 in Europe. This introduced Mario's companion Yoshi, who would then go on to make spin-off games of his own, new power-ups, a few new enemies, and plenty of secrets. It was also the first Mario game to have a save feature. And like its predecessor, it features the Koopalings and, of course, Bowser. Both were considered all-time video game classics, but which one did it better? Only way to find out is to break it down into different rounds, starting with round 1. First, we need to compare the presentation on both games. I love how Super Mario Bros. 3 opens up like a play in a theater. Curtain opens up, and there's Mario and Luigi fighting against the Koopa Troopas. The maps in each world is very well done, and the ending, much like the intro, closes with a curtain and the stage. I also love how the princess trolls Mario in the end. Super Mario World also has an awesome intro, and by the way, if you get pretty far, you might actually unlock the intro as a stage. The map looks beautiful, and the closing credits is epic, with Mario, the princess, and all the Yoshis heading home to find out that their eggs have been hatched. So in overall presentation, I have to give it to Super Mario World. It has a boss closing credits, the intro can actually be played as a level, and the map resembles a real-life world map more than in Super Mario Bros. 3. So round 1 goes to Super Mario World. Next up is music. Both soundtracks were composed by the legendary Koji Kondo, and both truly delivered in this department. I have very fond memories of all the songs in both games. My favorite songs from both games are the Bowser worlds. It's very difficult to decide which one is better in this round, so I decided, why not both? Round 2 is a tie. From this point forward, I will be going into great detail on the gameplay and content in both games. In this round, I'll be discussing the power-ups. In Super Mario Bros. 3, you had a wide variety of power-ups. Of course, you have the original power-ups, Super Mushroom, Fire Flower, Invincibility Star, and 1-Up Mushroom. But along with that, you have several new power-ups. Raccoon Mario for flying and killing enemies and bricks with your tail, P-Wing Mario, which is the same as Raccoon Mario except you can fly infinitely until you complete the stage, Frog Mario for swimming, Tanuki Mario, which is like Raccoon Mario except you can turn into a statue to protect yourself, and finally Hammer Mario, which is a power-up that should only be used when you really need it. The most common power-ups are the original ones and Raccoon Mario. The others are fairly rare. Super Mario World doesn't have as many power-ups as 3. All the new power-ups from 3 are gone, and the only new power-ups introduced are Cape Mario and P-Balloon Mario. Well, I guess you could count Yoshi as a power-up since he helps kill most enemies very easily. Not to mention, Yoshi has power-ups of his own. Different colors mean different power-ups. For example, red Yoshi or red Koopa Shell gives fire breath, yellow Yoshi or yellow Koopa Shell helps him stomp real hard, and blue Yoshi or blue Koopa Shell will make him fly. When it comes to power-ups, Super Mario Bros. 3 not only has more power-ups, but is also more balanced. Now I know what you're thinking. What are you talking about? That doesn't make sense. In Mario Bros. 3, you could carry over 20 items at once before you start the stage, while in Mario World, you can only use 2 at a time. Let me explain. As I said earlier, the most common power-ups are Mushroom, Fire Flower, Invincibility Star, and Leaf for Raccoon Mario. Items like the Tanuki, Hammer, and Frog are much harder to get. These power-ups can be very useful, so if you lose them, you have to be very lucky to get them back. You most likely have to find another Toad House to get another item. In Super Mario World, however, if you lose a power-up, you can easily get them back. And since it has a save feature, you can just go back to the previous level and get the Cape, Yoshi, or Fire Flower over and over again. Also in Mario Bros. 3, certain power-ups can be useful in certain stages. For example, if you are Frog Mario, you definitely needed to swim underwater faster. You can't use it outside the water or else you're gonna hop very slowly, and swimming without the frog powers will make Mario swim slower. Fire Mario is very useful in ice stages in World 6. Throw fire at ice cubes and you can collect coins and other stuff. In Super Mario World, for the most part, the Cape and Yoshi are really all you need. Once you get the Cape and Donut Plains, the Fire Flower is useless in most cases. With the Cape, you can fly and kill enemies at the same time. That, and combined with Yoshi, it makes you even stronger. In very few exceptions though, the Fire Flower can be more useful than the Cape. For example, when you're fighting against Iggy Koopa or Larry Koopa. All in all, Super Mario Bros. 3 does a much better job with power-ups. So round 3 goes to Super Mario Bros. 3. The next round will focus on the enemies, the Koopalings, and Bowser. Both games brought tons of new enemies, from Boos to Big Boos, to Charging Chucks, to Thwomps, to Dry Bones, to Mecha Koopas, to the sun literally attacking you, you name it. We've also seen variations of classic enemies like the Flying Goombas, Piranha Plants that throw fire, Hammer Brothers with different abilities, and as I mentioned earlier, multicolored Koopa Troopas. So both are equal in terms of variety of enemies. But what about the bosses, the Koopalings and Bowser? Wouldn't they be the same too? Well, not really. You fight them differently actually. In Super Mario Bros. 3, the Koopalings would each steal a magic wand from the 7 kings and transform them into animals. They would then escape in a floating pirate ship which by the way is one of the coolest things in Super Mario Bros. 3 in my opinion. Once you get to them, all you gotta do is stomp on them 3 times and they're dead. Or you can kill them easily with Fire Hammer Mario. Though some have unique abilities like stomping, all the Koopalings can be defeated virtually the same way. In Super Mario World, however, each Koopaling can be defeated in a different way. As I mentioned earlier, you can defeat Iggy and Larry Koopa by pushing them into the lava, and using Fire Mario makes that even easier. Defeating Lemmy and Wendy Koopa, you have to quickly stomp on the pipe they come out of 3 times. Roy and Morton Koopa climb on closing walls and can be defeated also by stomping on them 3 times. And lastly, Ludwig von Koopa spin attacks and throws fire at you. Can also be defeated by stomping them 3 times. And now we get to the main man himself, Bowser. In Super Mario Bros. 3, there's an area filled with bricks that Bowser can crush. Stand on that area for a while and Bowser will come and crush you as well as the bricks. But if you move very quickly, he'll only crush the bricks. Repeatedly doing this on the same spot will make him fall into a bottomless pit and the game is over. Or you can simply not do that and kill him with Fire Mario like in the original Super Mario Bros. Or even better, kill him with Hammer Mario, which only takes like a few seconds. In Super Mario World, the Bowser battle is even more epic. He comes out with this giant clown face flying thing that looks creepy as hell, and the only way to defeat him is by throwing Mecha Koopas at him. But you gotta throw them at the right time. If you miss, he's just gonna keep on attacking, and he gets even tougher once his clown face ship becomes angry. Your power-ups are useless against him, but you can protect yourself and prevent going to Small Mario. All in all, Super Mario World did a better job with the bosses, so round 4 goes to Super Mario World. And so we come to the 5th and final round. Here we talk about the worlds, the stages, how long the game is, and how challenging the games are. In Super Mario Bros. 3, there were a total of 8 worlds, and each world was unique. You had a grassland, a desert land, a water land, a world with giant enemies, a world where you are in the sky, a land filled with ice, a land with tons of piranha pants and pipes, and finally, Bowser's World. Oh, and there's an Easter egg in this game. If you're playing 2-player and both players choose the start stage, you can play a remake of the original arcade Mario Brothers. Sadly, I didn't record footage of it because I was filming gameplay footage by myself. What's interesting about Mario Bros. 3 is that it's the only game in the series to not have checkpoints. Now, granted, the stages are fairly short, but at the same time, they're not always easy to complete. Many stages can be quite a challenge, and in many cases, it takes a lot of trial and error to complete a stage. More so than any other Mario game, excluding the Japanese version of Super Mario Bros. 2. Now, if you're lucky, you can use the P-Wing or the whistle as the easy way out, but that makes the game less fun. To add to this, each world has lots of stages, especially World 6. You have the number stages, the bonus stages, the sub-boss fortresses, the castles, the Hammer Brothers stages, in which you gain a new item after killing them, and even stages that automatically suck you in. On top of all that, there is no save feature. And I'm only counting the original NES version, not the re-releases that followed years later. All this makes Super Mario Bros. 3 very challenging. Super Mario World also has 8 stages: Yoshi's Island, Donut Plains, Vanilla Dome, Butter Bridge, Cheese Bridge, Forest of Illusion, Chocolate Island, and Valley of Bowser. Funny how most of these worlds are named after food. And like Super Mario Bros. 3, Super Mario World has tons of stages in each world. But it doesn't stop there. You see the stages with red dots? Some stages have secret goals to unlock hidden stages. For example, the colored switches. But it doesn't stop there either. Sometimes when you reach a secret goal, or a key, chances are you could unlock a star road. This star road leads to the hidden star world. Here is where you get all the colored Yoshis. Simply feed them enough enemies or a power up and they'll grow to normal size. But it doesn't stop there either! One of the stages in Star World has a hidden star road. This leads to the special stage. It's like a secret within a secret. It's Secretception. And by the way, if you wait long enough before selecting a stage, you'll hear an Easter egg that plays the original Super Mario Bros. Theme. And once you complete the special stage, you're led to another star road that takes you back to Yoshi's Island. A very different Yoshi's Island. In fact, different everything. The color of the map has changed completely, and some of the enemies look rather strange. But with all the secrets Super Mario World has, I would still choose Super Mario Bros. 3 Worlds. Super Mario World has a save feature, checkpoints, and Cape Mario that makes the game much easier than Super Mario Bros. 3. Now, that's not a bad thing at all, but I just enjoy Mario Bros. 3 a lot more. So the final round goes to Super Mario Bros. 3. And so, we come to the conclusion. Both games are near and dear to my heart, and I will always have very fond memories of both. But to be brutally honest, I prefer the challenge that Super Mario Bros. 3 brings to the table. Super Mario World was a classic as well, but for the most part, it felt easy compared to its predecessor. I guess it's understandable since Mario is mostly a kids and family game, but I just wish there were more Mario games as difficult as Mario Bros. 3. So the overall winner is Super Mario Bros. 3. So that's it for today's holiday episode and versus episode of the Allie-RX show. Now I want to hear from you guys. Which game is better? Super Mario Bros. 3, Super Mario World, or do you think both are tied? A straw poll link is in the description below. Make sure you vote on that and let me know in the comments which game did you choose. Now, 2014 has not been my best year. 2014 has seen a lot of downs and a few ups. But for my New Year's resolution, 2015 will be a much better year and you're going to see tons of great new content from yours truly. I'm Allie-RX. I want to wish you all a very Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy whatever the hell you celebrate, Happy Holidays, and most especially, Happy New Year 2015. I'll see you on the other side.